I don't understand religion. I think that's what I'm going to start talking about today. Do you know how many times I've had somebody try to, is it converting? Or they're trying to get me to join their club, their religion. And I think it's most of the time coming from a really good place. There was one example. I was at a camp, and there was a Mormon Bible just left on the driver's seat when I went in the car. And I didn't think it was mine. I thought it was somebody. I was renting the car at the time. I thought it was somebody else's Bible. So I left it there. I left the Mormon Bible there. And I was told it wasn't theirs, the person I was renting or borrowing the car from. And they sent it to me and said, there's an inscription in there for you. And it said, I'm paraphrasing, but there's a lot of really good things that have helped me in here. And I think if you found, I don't know if it was Jesus or the Mormon guy, I can't think of his name, that maybe this will help a lot of your things that are going on in your life. And yeah, that's a good thought. I read some of it. I find it hard to read. I went to Catholic school for 5 years, elementary school. And when I would talk to the nuns, and I asked them questions, they would say, you just have to believe. Or some of the older nuns would say, you just have to listen to what I'm saying and follow the path. And I'm not wired that way, so that was hard. And that was rough. It made me reject it faster than I would have maybe if there was the stuff they were preaching, like love and things like that. And I remember in first grade, there was this really old nun named Sister Burnell, and she made the entire class wear a crown of thorns. And when one kid said, "Oh, this doesn't feel so bad," she pushed the crown harder onto his head until it hurt him. It's weird. And I don't understand that one. That nun was kind of a cunt, you know? I'm just going to say it. She is a horrible human being. And then there are lots of people, when I start talking about mental health on here, who want me to follow their version of religion, whether it's Methodist or Catholic or any and all of the above. And for a long time, I thought I'll explore this. And it's kind of a dick thing to just reject it immediately. I'm going to try and be open-minded. And honestly, I feel like the more open-minded I try to be, the more it solidifies that it feels like nonsense to me. So here's what always happens. I ask a lot of questions because and it's coming from a good place of genuine curiosity. Maybe not so much anymore, as I sound kind of jaded right now. But most of the time it's coming from a really good place, and I just want to understand their views on it. And when I talk to a lot of these different people, none of them can agree on certain things, like what is sin? Is the Bible written in a way that we need to follow it to a T, or was it represented by a bunch of, or was it filtered through a bunch of different people, and we all have our own interpretations of it? And when you get to the very bottom of it, and I'm kind of a factual, like logic, I want to know where things come from and why. And when you get to the very bottom of it, here's what always has happened to me, which is irritating. When I get to the bottom, they go, you just have to have faith. You just have to believe. I don't work that way. I need evidence. I need numbers. I need something. And in grad school, what I learned very quickly was you have to be uncomfortable saying, I don't know, and living there. And this is hard. This is hard for me, where you just want the answers. But when it comes to religion, just believing something to believe it and having faith is fucking insane. Like, that's like saying, I'm just going to believe I don't have to pay my rent. I don't have to pay my mortgage. I'm just going to believe that, you know? That's what it feels like. I know it's a stupid example, but that's sort of what it feels like. And so I feel like I'm done with the conversation when people do that. I'm just not very open to it anymore. And what I also have noticed is with all this Charlie Kirk stuff going on, people are really speaking their opinions, their beliefs on Christianity. The other thing is I always ask this question, and people can never give me a straight answer, is, so you're Catholic. We were born in a Catholic country here in the United States. What would happen if you were born in a different part of the world with a different religion? Would you still be Catholic? And a lot of times their answers are yes, because that's the truth. And then when you say, well, there's like 2,000 different religions, what do you say to them when they say theirs is the truth? And they always say, well, theirs is wrong, mine is right. And that makes zero sense to me too. And I wrestle with this all the fucking time. Like, I don't want to talk to these people, but I think they're coming from a good place. But they're trying to convince me of something I don't want to be convinced of anymore, because I've explored this enough where I don't know what happens when we die. And I don't think they know what happens when they die. Actually, I'm fairly confident. I have a strong hypothesis, because they're alive, that they have no idea what happens when they die. And if they think they do, it's because they were told in some book. It's really weird. I find that so fucking weird. And I don't know. I think I'm just annoyed by it. And I'm annoyed by this because I dip in and out of nihilism, and nihilism has a bad rap, right? It's not great, but where it's just you don't have any sense of meaning. None of this matters. It's all just random chance, right? It all just kind of fell together. A bunch of stars kind of exploded, and here we are. And that's what we know. We don't know what happened before, if the Big Bang is even real. What's before that? Or there's all sorts of stuff we don't know. Black holes and is wormholes even work? This quantum mechanics, quantum physics, things that are very small and things that are very big. Like what's it all about? And then that's where you get the people who are like, well, it's God. And this is a problem for me too, because that's not living in the I don't know. We need to do experiments and figure this out, or it will come with time and sitting there with an I don't know. Because as soon as we just accept an answer, then that's the answer. And a lot of times you will defend that answer, even if it's not real, even if it's not factual. And that's a problem for me. And this is interesting because we have AI now, right? So I've been fucking around with ChatGPT quite a bit, and I typed in there, I was like, what do you think causes a lot of my mental health issues? And one of the answers that came up was because most people want a closed loop, and they feel comfortable when the loop is closed. And you don't close the loop. Even if the loop looks like it could be closed, you always question something else to keep it open. And because you do that, you're uncomfortable all the time because you're never certain of anything. Fuck you, ChatGPT. I shouldn't talk to you nearly as much. This is stuff I feel like I should talk to a therapist about. And because I didn't know what to talk about this week, I'm just rambling on. And because I should talk to a therapist, but I don't trust therapists, because I just made this post on my friend's, Dr. Robert Andrews. I don't think he's a doctor, but he's a mental health sports psychologist. And he made a post about how there was a therapist who told one of his clients a different psychiatrist, to write down all the negative thoughts in their head on a piece of paper and then crumple it up and then throw it in the garbage. And now you're cured. And he was shitting all over that because it didn't work. I don't see how that would work really either. Maybe it'll work for somebody. I don't really know the answer to that. But it didn't work for this individual. And Robert was talking about how he worked with this athlete 2 times, and they significantly improved their mental health with EMDR and a bunch of other types of things. And I've talked to Robert Andrews. I think he's a really great dude. I think he does a lot of really good things, and he's good at what he does. Those are hard to find in therapy. I've found I have been seeing therapists since I was 10 years old. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I think 98% of them were pure garbage, and 2% of them were so good that it has made me not throw away therapy altogether, because there has been such profound change and good that came from it. And off the top of my head, I can only think of 2 therapists who have done that. All of the other ones, dozens and dozens of them, did not help at all. I felt like I was just giving them money and I was talking to a stranger. And I don't know if I'm the problem. I don't know if they're the problem or we're both the problem. Maybe it's just a bad mix. But the problem for me really isn't that. It's not me or them or us. It's more of the fact that you're spending hundreds of dollars per session to give to somebody for a shot that maybe it'll work. And you maybe only get to see them once a month. Maybe twice a month. And if you're really, really doing shitty, like if you're suicidal, maybe they'll see you every week. But you have to be really bad. You have to be really terrible for them to see every week. And that's a lot of money. So let's just, easy math, let's just say it's $100 for a 45-minute session. You're spending $400 a month to maybe have this work. That sucks. So it's hard for me to want to jump into that again when I've done that. And I feel the same way about antidepressants. Like they have never worked for me, really. And that sucks too. Like they might numb the painful emotions, but they'll come from the same faucet. So if you're numbing the painful emotions, you're also numbing the really good ones. So there's this weird line. I've kind of found that if you have to be extremely brave. If you want to feel the really good stuff, you have to feel the really hard stuff too. And that's not fun. Because you're taking a shot, right? And is this faith? This is like, I think this might work. And I don't know if that's what faith is. I feel like it's a hypothesis. It's like, I'm going to just see what happens. Or maybe you do it, and that is the faith, like I have faith this will work, so I'm going down this road. Or based on all the evidence I have in my life right now, this is the best shot I've got. And then when I get frustrated or overwhelmed or not sleeping much, I that's where I fall into this nihilism thing where it's like, but none of this really fucking matters. I'm going to die. You're going to die. Whoever's listening to this is going to die. And within a generation or 2, no one's going to know who we are. It's going to be dead. It's over. Like that's just, unfortunately, the harsh truth of all of this. And that's hard for a lot of people to hear, I think. And maybe this is dark. Maybe I shouldn't be making a podcast this week. I don't really know. I feel like I need to find some peppy side of things here. So if somebody is listening to this and they're kind of in a dark hole too, they don't take everything I say and I'm just giving them this bullshit that's in my head and now it's in their head and it makes them worse. I don't want that to happen. Because when you do find those good things, God, it's fucking good. Because this other place I live in, which I want to figure out how to get there more. And there's other phases of this, which is absurdism. That, yeah, none of this fucking matters. So fucking play with it all. Play with all of it. Fucking go crazy. And then when you do that, that's where life is fun. Like societal rules, fucking none of it matters. So go do what you want. Fucking scream in a restaurant at the top of your lungs. Throw a cat into the holy water at church and then run away. Like do whatever you want for fun. And then I don't know what that piece is, because like I don't want to hurt people either. So, I don't want you to think, oh, none of it matters. I can do whatever I want, and including like hurting. I don't want you to hurt anybody. There's this playful like little kid place that you kind of get into where you're making choices and ignoring all the bullshit, right? Like here's what you're supposed to do. So here's a weird example. Every time my mom would want us to go to a play or something, you're supposed to get dressed up, right? That's how her generation grew up. Like, oh, I'm getting out. I'm going to go see a play. I need to get dressed to the nines. That doesn't exist anymore. If you go to these places, stand-up show or a play of some sort, or like a concert in one of these really old buildings, people are fucking dressed in sweatpants sometimes, jeans, like a shirt. It's like no one's wearing suits and ties or fancy dresses anymore. And when there was a time where I was expected to do that, and I wanted to go so far the other way where I'm like, I'm gonna fucking wear a Halloween costume to this place. I'll fucking show you. We don't have to do this, and I will laugh so hard. But then it would fucking upset her, right? And then that's part of this choice of part of my frustration this week is, when do you give up part of yourself, right? What would make you laugh, what you want to do for somebody else? Because that costume idea is funny. If you're going to a concert, very fancy, mind you, and you're dressed up in a fucking Tigger costume, that's pretty great. If I saw someone else do that, I would think they're awesome. Where I think the majority of people are like, I don't even know what they would think. Maybe other people would think they're awesome too, but it's not the norm, right? And when people do things outside of the norm, issues seem to happen, right? And I think I started this whole thing talking about religion because the religion is just a fucking set of rules that everyone has agreed upon, it feels like. And I don't agree upon any of it. It all just seems like bullshit. I think when I have explored this deeply, and I did 10 years ago, I took a huge deep dive into religion because I wanted to not feel so shitty anymore. My mental health, I wanted it to go away. I didn't want to feel depression. I didn't want to feel anxiety. I wanted to feel good. And a lot of people appear who are very religious seem to be pretty good. God's got my back. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. I'm going to feel so... praise Jesus. Like, yeah, I want a fucking best friend to get my back. But I think it's bullshit. I'll say it. I don't get it. I really don't. Because it just comes from a place of you have to believe. And I can't. I can't because I don't have any evidence. Here's what I do have evidence for. I'm gonna say some nice things about religion. I think when you get a lot of people trying to better themselves together and better their community and better people around them, that's fucking magic. That's really cool. Do you need religion to do that? No. Does religion do that? Yes, to the most part. I think that's a really cool thing it does. Does it help you try to be a better person? I don't know what's better, right? How do you judge that? That's hard for me too. Like, what's a good person and what's a bad person? Hurting other people? What about the guy who like kills animals? what about the guy? I don't know. Like, that's where I wrestle with it. And if you looked in the Bible, they would tell you what's a good person and a bad person. But for me, it's tough, right? Because I do believe that the hero is, or the villain is a hero in their own story. They think they're doing what's best, right? I do think that. I have seen that. I have evidence of that. So it's weird. But yeah, I think religion can be a really good thing. It can start wars too, though. It can kill a lot of people. It can make you reject your own child. It can do a lot of really bad things. And when I've brought this up to people, what do they say to me? The most recent one is, well, you can't judge religion based on something one person does into it. It's like, I get what you're saying. Then the message is wrong. Although that person who rejected their child for maybe being gay, let's just use that as an example, thought they were doing the right thing because they were putting God first. So, the message isn't very clear, apparently. But let's go back. When I was researching all of this, when I really got down to it and wanted to figure out the answer, I found that most religions, I didn't look at all 2,000 of them, but most of them just wanted to spread love. You know, like, you can look up the golden rule, you know, like, do unto others as they would do unto you, in other religions, and they all say the same thing in different ways, which is kind of beautiful. It's all pointing to something, right? Love, helping each other, connection, and our evolutionary biology as humans is to connect with people. So I think, you know, like, there's something there. There's something there when you can connect with people and feel good, and religion helps you connect with people. So I'm not trying to shit on religion. I think I'm sick of using my time to try and convince people that it's okay that I don't believe what you believe. I'm happy you found something that makes you feel good. This, from, again, all of elementary school, and then people have been trying to push me into religion forever after that, because they see, I don't know, it feels kind of strange when I see someone's hurting. I'm going to throw religion at them. And I don't like it. And then I feel like they judge me or have to convince me that I should be doing this. It's like, I don't fucking believe it, man. I don't believe a fucking talking snake or any of this bullshit. And some people really take it literally. And then other people say, oh, these are just metaphors or parables or stories. And that's where it gets weird too. Like, there's no agreement on it. Where if you were to judge, or if you were to measure gravity, the force of gravity, everybody could come up with the same number. You can't do that with religion. So I guess with this nihilism thing, it's like, when I get overwhelmed, none of this fucking shit matters. Will religion exist if, when I die, and then in 10 years, or not 2 generations, be forgotten? If the world explodes, I saw this post once that said, if all of the documentation, science, and religious literature disappeared from the earth because of a meteor, religion would not come back in the same way, but the science would, because it remains the same. Gravity would remain the same. Magnetism, electromagnetism, all of it would just all still be there. And so I think when I don't like living in the nihilism place, I do sneak into it a lot, and I notice it. And when I can feel a little bit better, when I find a ways to live in the absurdism, like play place. I like that area. And if you've seen the movie, like Anything Everywhere All at Once, probably one of my favorite movies. And I've only seen it once. It hit me so hard because it just kind of hit to what I'm talking about right now. But you just play, like you have this small roller coaster ride of life. You can scream the whole way. You can put your arms up in the air. You can not get on the ride. You can whatever you want to do, but that's all we got. And it's absurd. It's absurd, a lot of the things we have here. Like, I find it weird that we're looking for aliens in other places in the planet, like in our universe, right? And we have fucking aliens on this planet. Look at animals. Like, does no one ever just think about animals? We have, like, a frog is a fucking weird looking thing. Its tongue like flies out of its mouth to catch bugs. Some of them are sticky. We have tree frogs sticking to windows and trees and all sorts of other stuff, and they're camouflaged into the trees. Like, if you saw that on another planet, you would lose your goddamn minds. But we don't do that here. It's kind of absurd that that's happening. And I don't like societal rules. I never have. And I feel like they're here a lot. And you're expected to act a certain way. And I think people feel safe there, but I don't. I feel trapped. I feel like I'm in a cage. And I'm just talking now because I'm trying to get this out and make sense of where my brain's been the last couple of days. And it hasn't been in the best place ever. But it's I need more freedom, I think. And I get to have that with my kids. We do absurd things all the time because they're not, I don't even know what it's called. Is it called indoctrinated? They don't have these societal norms yet. Amelia wanted to go to the store today with her underwear on and couldn't understand why she needed to wear pants and had a goddamn meltdown. And if it was funny on one hand, and then on the other hand, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if there weren't pedophiles, I would probably let you go in your underwear. Who cares? But for me, it's like fucking weirdos out there. I'm trying to protect you from weirdos. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to go to the store in my underwear too. Like, fuck it, right? It's a dumb thing. So, like that type of stuff. It's like, I don't get it, and it's hard. It's hard sometimes. It's hard when I think about that ChatGPT thing, and they want closed loops, and I'm always questioning everything, and I don't know. It just kind of hit sometimes it hit the nail on the head a little bit, and maybe I shouldn't talk to it nearly as much, because I've tried to challenge it and ask it a bunch of questions, and that one really got me. It was like, oh, you're uncomfortable because there's a bunch of open loops in your brain at all times because you live in this I don't know place, and I have so many I don't knows in my head that it kind of hurts in a lot of ways. There's a lot of whys. Like, why do we have to do that? Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to do this? Why is this illegal and why is that not illegal? And if it was illegal, like, let's use like pot, for example. So marijuana was illegal 10 years ago. It was the worst thing you could do, and your brain was going to melt, and this is your brain on drugs, and there's fucking eggs flying into a pan, like on commercials and dare programs and stuff. And now it's legal, like, in most states. Like, that changed. So that feels kind of like religion in a way, right? How important are our rules and our laws if they can be changed so quickly? Like, they're man-made so they can be man-challenged and man-broken. It's weird. And I don't get it. I really don't. And I like to stand on some solid foundation, and most of the why is not solid foundation at all. So I think I covered a lot. If I'm going to regroup all of this into a nutshell, I'm feeling a little trapped. I'm feeling a little tired. Religion makes no sense. Societal norms make no sense. I dip in between nihilism and absurdity. And I would like to get to a place where it's like this, I can see the world's absurdity. How am I trying to say this? I'd like to, maybe this is the important part. Maybe it's good I wrapped this all up this way. I would like to play with life again. I would like to see the absurdity of it. I would like to break rules and challenge conventional norms. I used to do that a lot. And I didn't really think about the consequences of it, maybe hurting some people who wanted to be in a safe, predictory place. Is that even a word? A place that was predictable. There was a lot of rules and laws and things known. And so, how do I get back there? And I don't want to wait. Part of me is like, maybe one of my kids will be as goofy as I am, and then we can just go be goofy together for a while. Or how do I find these people, and where do they exist? I feel like I had some of them in college. I feel like I had some in high school too, and that was 10 and 20 years ago now. And I feel like I'm just by myself a lot, or with my kids, and I don't have anyone to be absurd with. And maybe that's the very last thing I should say here. Where religion has like a group of people with a common interest and common group, a community, I don't really feel like I have one right now. And maybe that's why I'm talking into here, because when I do make these podcasts, people reach out. Not a lot of people are watching these, but the ones who do are very quality. So the quantity is low, but the quality is high. And it opens up these conversations because I don't know how to find my people right now. And I'm just kind of blasting this out into the internet with my own thoughts. And maybe I feel so fucking weird and different that I don't know how to find those fucking weird and different people. Because it's some of the stuff I've talked about in the past couple episodes and even this one, you're not supposed to say out loud. That's what we were taught. Not supposed to talk about religion. Unless you're religious, then you're supposed to talk about it all the fucking time. So, yeah, maybe this is just a beacon to try and find my tribe. Because I'm a one-man wolf pack right now. That's what it feels like. So yeah, guys, thanks for the rant. This is probably more for me than you. But anyways, life's meant to be experienced, and curiosity will get you there. I'm going to try and bring more people on. I've been reaching out to some people so I can actually have some conversations. Maybe this will grow that wolf pack a little bit. All right. Stay classy. Love you. Bye.